Day 3, 6:41 on the timer. Pretty good, same as yesterday. Today, gonna hit chest, do yoga, and going into work today. Hopefully playing ping pong, and then I'll just work on photo stuff and edit this and put it up later. Yo, on my way back, well, home basically, from the Jackson Clinic today. So this place is like a good hour and a half away from where I normally work and where I live. So hopefully the last time I'm doing this, I finally got these business cards in that I was able to put into these folders that we give to the patients, and so that and we got approved to screen remotely, so I don't have to actually physically be there. And the business cards were important so that they had my contact information. And yeah, so hopefully this is the last time that I go to Jackson. I mean, it was pretty sweet just because I got like $100 every time I did it. So on my next paycheck, I should have an extra 70, but that's from going to the other sites. But on the paycheck after that should be an extra 340. And then on the paycheck after that, it should be like an extra 200 plus. 200, 250 or something like that. So that's pretty sweet. I mean, I really can't complain about that. And I'm just chilling in the car. I'm just driving. And my back's been feeling pretty good. You know, I've been doing those, you know, it looks really silly on video and in real life and just all the time, but I think those little like sort of hip hikes and stuff, I think those are working pretty good. So I'm gonna continue doing those. Like I feel good in the car, right? Like I feel good just sitting in the car. Normally I have some pain. Normally it feels like my hips are super uneven, but I'm feeling pretty good. So yeah, and I've been creating my playlists. I'm starting with the classics and the good karaoke songs playlists, which I'll probably split those up, you know, into like modern classics, modern karaoke, and then like old karaoke, and so on. But so that's been cool. Morning routine felt pretty good today. It's gonna be tough to get under 6:40. I mean, it's gonna be tough to get under 6 minutes on that. I want to say it's more than a mile. I mean, it's tough to say. I guess we'll just keep going with it being like an arbitrary distance. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess I was just thinking of the 5K I did, and I mean, I came out at what? I did that in like 21 minutes or like 22 minutes or something like that. And that's at like, you know, I guess it's over a 7-minute mile. I don't know. Maybe it is true. I guess I was thinking that I was like closer to a 6-minute mile than I actually am. But I think I'm just also realizing again how hard running a 6-minute mile actually is. So, yeah. So overall good day today. Got to see Frank. Puni wasn't there, but overall good day. And yeah, happy to be assembling those playlists, and I'm just in this period of like logging shit, recording shit, writing shit down, and it feels really good. And I think I'm going to
Crash reported ahead on I-94 East in
that I
half a
did
mile.
that.
You're still on the fastest route.
And I have a date with a girl on Sunday. I need to figure out a place to do it. Cause yeah, I guess I have like the idea. Oh, we could go to Rochester. We could go to Rochester and walk around Rochester. That's a solid idea. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Going to be a busy weekend. Gotta take advantage of what I've got going on tomorrow, which is not a lot, to get all of this miscellaneous stuff out of the way, like the pictures, and well, I did the editing. I have 2 videos uploaded to YouTube now, so that's cool. And just building the habits, building those habits so we can keep doing them. And yeah, money's looking good. I just bought a Costco gift card. Go to Costco like probably tomorrow, probably not today. Yeah, so that's looking good. Yeah, I'll be like fully out of food tomorrow. So yeah, money's looking good. All right, just got interrupted with Justin, but I know what I want to do in psychology now. I know what I want to study. It is perceived effort, trying hard in the style of anime, like you know, in any Shonen Jump anime, right? Literally, the whole appeal of the show, basically. The whole appeal of the show. I mean, there's cool fight scenes and stuff, but you can't just have a cool fight scene like without any like heart and like story back to it. And the whole thing of that is trying hard, pushing past your mental limits, sometimes physical limits, but mainly mental limits, right? That is the whole appeal. That is everything. And it's so fucking good. And it's like hugely a rise in the culture. Rock climbing is exploding, and obvious ties to rock climbing with, you know, perceived effort and trying hard. But like I was like, the experiment idea I was thinking of was like, oh, trying hard in anime. Like, what if you like showed people an anime, right? And it's okay, let me back up a little bit and tell you why I was thinking this. There was this couple that I've seen at Planet Rock before. They're not there very often, but I've seen them there before, and they were in the yoga class today. Good yoga class today, good workout, overall good time. But they're like the ultimate like PDA couple. Like I'm walking into Yoda, and they're like sort of standing like in between like the weight room and the yoga room, and like the girl is just like sort of standing like a stick and is like sad, moping, and then the guy is like arms wrapped around her, and they're just like standing like that, like for like, and the guy's like consoling her, and she's like, and this is exactly what they were doing last time. Like they're just like super fucking touchy-feely, like for no, like just no good reason at all. And so it's like, it's just like when you see that, you're like, oh god, dude, like I don't want to fucking be around that. Like that is just no, you know, like no. It's just like the super weird like type of it, you know. And so the girl is Asian, and like they definitely seem like a couple that met over the internet in terms of playing video games. Okay, that's the perception I get, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay. And I was thinking of, and it was the first time in yoga, you know, she's like struggling, whatever, like, you know, you're getting out there, you're doing it, like, good for you, totally. But, and I was right next to them too, in the yoga class. And so I was thinking, I was like, huh, like, yeah, like, I wasn't even thinking like a linear pattern. It was just sort of like spreading activation, like all sort of like came together, where it was like, huh, like trying hard in anime, right? And like, and I was almost thinking like, oh, it's kind of ridiculous for people that are like, you know, there's people on the internet like on the like cringy accounts, right, that are like oh, I am like, you know, doing some sort of like anime like impression thing, or like they're like powering up to like go do, you know, they're doing some like anime run or something like that, and they're like, you know, some sort of like weird, like not cosplay, but like, you know, like impersonation thing. Just thinking like, oh, like that's so weird when they do that. But honestly, psychology experiment where you have someone like watch an anime, like watch the Demon Slayer fight scene, right? With Rengoku versus that other dude, and he's like, I will never quit, blah blah blah. And then like you just want whistle, man. That's like the ultimate fight scene. You're just like yes, like to me, you know, where it's you're just like there's literally the only good thing about the scene, the only thing that matters is just that this person who is like highly skilled and they're losing, but they're still gonna try as hard as they can. They're still super noble and like true to themselves, you know. But honestly, channeling that and sort of like giving people, you know, that versus some sort of control condition, and then putting people whatever in like doing some sort of like weighted workout would be like the easiest, or you know, it could be anything where you need like perceived max effort. It could be doing an intelligence test. It could be doing anything like that. And sort of telling them to like, you know, keep that in mind. Or just don't tell them anything. Just show it to them and prime them with it. They would do better. I'll bet you they would do better. I will bet you they would do better. You know, it's so funny. Science is just like, you know, I'll bet you if this happened, this would happen. And then you just test it. But that's like the perfect way of phrasing it. That's literally what that is how you teach what a hypothesis is. I'll bet you if this happened, this happened. Or I'll bet you this would happen. That is a hypothesis. That's how you think of it. And that's the best thing. That's just great. And yeah, and you know, obvious ties to rock climbing, you could work that in somehow. Obvious ties to anything where you're trying to get better at something. Any form of training, right? That actually results in differences. And so, yeah, and so, you know, it's like what I was interested in before in like the labs I applied to, still like I can work in that, you know, attention control, all that stuff, learning, transfer, not really, but kind of memory, but mainly just the training things. I don't know. I can work it in. Meaning in life, trying hard, perceived effort that you put into your life. How is that related to meaning in life? Like, boom. God. That's pretty much it. And then there's also an interesting thing with like, you know, you want that person to do well. No matter who that person is. You know, there's people that come from like a rich family and you're kind of like, oh, like, I hate that. You know? Like, I wish they failed or something. But then if you know that, but then if it turns out this person came from a rich family, but then they're also trying significantly harder than the person that came from a poor family. And then there's the person from the poor family that isn't trying hard. Even adjusting for all of the factors in terms of like inequality and like social economic status and like, you know, parenting and like role models and things like that. You may still, I'll bet you that people would still prefer that rich guy to win. In whatever sort of context we're talking about. And yeah, and then even like when you're playing against people in video games, right? And you're losing, you're like, oh dude, these guys are so sweaty. Like, oh, they're such tryhards, you know what I mean? And it's like a negative thing. But if it was revealed to you that these people trained hard for like 10 hours a day, blah, 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 and that you also didn't like see that as being like, you know, a loser or whatever, like seeing that activity as not being valuable, assuming you see that activity as valuable, then what is going on? And then also like, what if the person that's trying harder loses, you know, even though all else was equal except for genetics. Like what is sort of like the whatever, what kind of moral quandary is that? So that was just a huge breakthrough, and I'm super stoked on that. I literally happened, like, there was like 10 minutes left in yoga. Like, we were on our like last flow, like before we even like, it was before we were even like lowering to the ground, I think, or it was when we were lowering to the ground. And I had that thought, and I was like, oh my God, like, power thought. And I needed to, as, like, for the rest of the class, I literally just repeated, trying hard, perceived effort, anime. Trying hard, perceived effort, anime. And then, yeah, also using, like, one of those, like, I'm sure there's, like, a perceived effort scale, right? And then there might be some, like, measures of actual, there's some measures of actual effort, right? In terms of, like, muscle activation, whatever. You know, correlate those. What's going on with that? Some good shit right there, Liam. That's some good shit right there. I would be a professor. I would fucking go into academia to study that shit. Oh, God. Okay, so much more relaxing. All right, maybe try to find some books on that, read some research on that. You know, we can honestly be a lot more relaxed because I am chilling now. There was another thing that I said I was super interested in. I can't remember what it was.